This game was played in a European Club Cup that's happening from October 19 to October 25. With the white pieces, we have the magician Divya Deshmukh facing off against Tokhirjonova Gulrukhbegim, and the thing is that she's a grandmaster. Apologies, she's actually an IM from Uzbekistan, and this is one immortal game that could have been really, I mean, a spectacular game was played by Divya. But what happens is absolutely going to shock you. H4 was started by Divya. Just going for this English opening, we have knight to f6, knight to c3, and just e5. We have knight to f3 and just knight to c6. Going for the four knights variation of the English, we have e3 now, e4, just pushing that pawn all the way, taking away a lot of squares. But the thing is that you can see the engine evaluation shifting. I mean, this is really going to be stringent here. Just knight to g5, now just comes queen to e7, and he just queen to c2. Just developing the queens, knight to b4 now, attacking the queen, and he just queen to b1. If all of this was preparation or not, I cannot tell, but the thing is that it looks a lot like preparation to me. Here d5, and now just comes this a3, pushing the knight back. But here in this position, the move that you want to play in this position is actually d4, and d4 is a spectacular move because you are sacrificing the piece here, and after a captures you play d caps on c3, and after this b captures you play h6, pushing the knight back. And the thing is that you cannot come back here, you cannot come back here. The only move that you have in this position is knight to h3. Yes, you will ruin your pawn structure. Bishop captures, g captures, and after queen to e6, the thing is you play c5, and your position is going to be absolutely fine. And you can see engine is even giving it better than black. 0.4 is absolutely enough, 0.4, 0.5 is absolutely enough. But here after a3 we have h6, and h6 is a move that engine hates in this position, because there is only one move in this position that engine is loving right now. But I'm going to ask you to pause the video to try and find out this only move that gives you a winning advantage right from the opening. So have at it. It's not that difficult to spot, believe me. So congratulations to everyone who's able to find this move. The move is this, well, knight captures on e4, sacrificing the knight, because hey, you're just, I mean, it's hanging either way, why not just go away with the pawn? But here after d caps on e4 was played, this comes a caps on b4, we have bishop to f5. And I mean, calculating till here is absolutely fine, but what follows is what you have to calculate. The move that you want to play with the white pieces in this position is absolutely spectacular, and really will not come to anyone's mind, because the thing is that there are a lot of moves you can play in this position. You can play maybe a rook to a4 in this position. Rook to a5 can be an idea, just going for that rook lift, attacking the bishop in this position. I mean, getting the rook early on, I mean, that would be absolutely spectacular, because this pawn was under attack and you don't want to keep it hanging. So bishop was played here, but the move that you want to play in this position is actually b5, and b5 is a spectacular move. I mean, really an awesome move here, because the thing is that queen to d7 and here b4. If you go for bishop to e7, just developing more pieces, knight to e2, you don't care about those pawns, you're just pushing those pawns and you're just moving all the pieces that you've already developed. That's absolutely crazy. Here after castles you play this knight to d4, after a6 you play c5 even, and after this a captures, bishop caps on b5, rook captures, queen captures, c6. The thing is that you have bishop to c4, and your position is absolutely amazing right from the opening. This is just going to be move 18. If this had happened after 18 moves, you would have had an advantage of +1. That's absolutely spectacular, and most likely here Divya would have converted this to a win. But the thing is that after bishop to a5, she went for the normal natural move in this position, which is this rook to a5. But the thing is that rook to a5 is not given as much as advantage by the engine as it should have been. But here just comes queen to d7, going for the same moves that are told you about in that different line, but just c5 now, pushing those pawns all the way, bishop to e7, and here just going for queen to a2, a6 now, c6, and just pushing that pawn all the way. This is definitely a beautiful sacrificial move by Divya. This is definitely a Divya move. I mean, she always loves to attack, and that's a spectacular move here in this position. Obviously you cannot capture with the queen. I mean, if you decide to, then the bishop falls, so you have to capture with the b pawn, and the pawn structure is ruined, and Divya is definitely looking to take advantage of this. He just comes b5 now. b5 is a beautiful move, sacrificing another pawn and saying, well, what do you have in this position? Definitely trying to create complications in the position. His c5 was played, not capturing it, but now you have given me a pass pawn. And what Divya wanted to achieve right from the opening, trying to just create complications, that definitely happened, and you have a complete pass pawn what is going to happen in this position. Now here just castles was played, not worrying about that pawn a bit too much, because if you think about that pawn, I mean, it's already just two squares away from promotion. That's absolutely spectacular, and it's going to be really a stringent pawn. But here in this position, the move that you want to play to be able to have the advantage is p3. It's crazy, I mean, how the engine evaluation works, but seriously, this is the move that you want to find. And here after rook f to b8, now you play this bishop to c4, bishop to e6, asking for a trade, but just queen to a4. If you capture here, the thing is that if you capture with the bishop, I can capture with the queen, or I can also trade the queens here in this position. After bishop captures, that's exactly what happened. Queen captures on d7, knight captures, and here just b captures on c4. So how is the advantage going to work out? Can you actually hold on to your passed pawn? Well, here f5 would be played, most likely making some breathing room for the king, and also, you know, just pushing those pawns all the way towards the king side. King to e2, knight to e5, and just g4. G4 is a spectacular move. F captures, and after bishop to e3, there's a lot more pressure in this position. Then you think knight is jumping in, rook is attacking those pawns, other rook is getting into the position. It's going to be a complicated game, but this is the games that Divya absolutely, I mean, loves to play, and she would have definitely converted this. But after castles here, she went for bishop to e2. Just a calm developing move, because you have to castle in this position. Bishop to g4, and just queen to a4 was played. So she played the same moves, but, you know, in a different order, and did not go for bishop to c4. But now just comes this bishop captures on e2. We have queen caps on d7, knight caps on d7, and here just going for king caps on e2. f5 now, and now just going for g4. So she plays all of the amazing engine moves that I just told you about, and here just comes g6. And g6 is definitely a move that engine does not like, absolutely hates it, because the thing is that there is a spectacular move that you can play in this position, which is this g captures on f5. And the thing is that you don't want to capture with the rook here, because if you capture with the rook, then just knight caps on e4, you just given up a clean pawn to me, and that's a central pawn. I will have 3 pass pawns in the end game. You don't want that to happen. So here g caps on f5, but you must be thinking, what is the counterplay? How do you actually attack the king? Well, first rook to g1 check, king moves, you play a7, just pushing the pawn all the way, not allowing this to happen. So here now just comes this c6, but now in this position you play this d4, just pushing all the way. Obviously you're going to play en passant here, and after this king captures, you play bishop to d8, attacking the rook, but just rook to a4, bishop to b6, now threatening to pick up the pawn, but the pawn was not my strength. Again, the pawn was just a distraction. What I really wanted to achieve is to get the rook all the way towards the king side. Here rook to h4, and now after bishop captures on a7, you play rook to h5, not even bothered to capture this, but captured this instead. And after king to e6, you play knight to e2, knight is jumping in next, bishop can be developed, rooks are already inside your position. I mean, they would have really loved this position. But the thing is that, I mean, any attacker would really. The position is absolutely amazing, and the thing is that it's open. Anything can happen. You have double c pawns, you have 3 pawn islands, your position structure is broken. Rook can join the party, and the thing is that both rooks can enter the 6th rank, and I mean, that's absolute annihilation that could have happened on the board. Yes, your king is a little bit weak in this position, but I mean, other than that, your position is absolutely fine. And really, Divya would really love this position. But after g6, here rook to g1 was played, and now here king to h7. And same idea can be played, and Divya goes for it. G caps on f5, G captures b3 now, but she plays this b3 move a bit too late, because now here bishop to d6 was played, h3, rook f to b8, and now what do you do here? Knight to a4 was played by Divya, just challenging that pawn, and here we have a rook captures on b3, finally just grabbing 1 pawn, bishop to b2 now, and now just going for bishop to f8, and here just bishop to c3, rook to a7 now, and here h4, c6, and now just knight to b2. We have rook to b5, rook to a2, and here now just going for this knight to b6. So maybe cannot keep that pawn, pass pawn, but the thing is that you have rook in the structure. All you need to do is maybe try to get the rook towards the other side, and maybe try to start an attack. You are the one who's better in this position, and will Divya be able to convert this 1.5 advantage to a clear cut, absolutely annihilating position? Well, let's see. Here just bishop to e5 was played, but now just comes this knight to c7, bishop to c3, and knight to b6. So maybe Divya is thinking about repeating the moves. Well, with the white pieces, absolutely not. But the thing is that only because of the fact that she thinks the position is clearly having an advantage towards her, that's why she is not repeating moves. And now the move that you want to play in this position is, well, the moves that she normally plays and gets wins with, that is h5. And the thing is that after this, you play rook to b3, putting some pressure on, but just f4. And yes, obviously you're going to play en passant. Here after e captures, king captures, you play f4 even, but after e4 you have to understand, yes, this looks a little bit scary, but it's not, because the thing is that after bishop to g7, just putting some extra pressure, you play rook to c1, c4, king caps on f4, and your position is marvelously good. Bishop to f8, you play knight to d1, bishop to a3, and here after this rook c to a1, bishop to d6 check, e5, knight to d5 check, and after this you just play bishop to b8. And the thing is that pieces are a bit too passive. I have a pass pawn. The rooks are already, I mean, protecting one passer. Now I have another one. You cannot handle two passes in this position. That's the problem. And knight is also jumping in next. Your position is about to collapse and is very, very soon to collapse. So definitely, Divya, if she had found h5, her position would be absolutely amazing. But it's not about h5 in general. It's about h5 and all the lines that follows. But the thing is that both plays were down to, and Divya was down to actually 3 minutes on the clock. You're not going to find all of these moves with 3 minutes on the clock. So here after knight to b6, hey, bishop to e5 was played, but now just comes knight to d7, attacking the knight, attacking the bishop, bishop to f4, and just rook to b6. So here the position is almost have become drawn here. So rook g to a1 was played, defending the pawn, but now just comes rook to b4, rook to c1, and rook to b6, and both players here, after a really long gruesome battle in this position, agreed to go for a draw. And definitely Divya had some chances in this position, but finding all of these correct ideas and all of these moves with just 3 minutes on the clock, it's definitely not going to happen. Even if you find just one correct move, you play, let's say you play h5, but you're not able to find the correct ideas of actually going for this f4 idea after en passant, and after f4, how do you deal with f4 in this position if black plays it, and all of those things is just not easy to calculate all of these things in the time that you have. But still, great game played by Divya. I mean, there was a lot of complications, so kudos to her for finding the right ideas. Almost immortal game. Even in just the round one of the tournament, she could have gone for this. She played like one of the all the engine lines, but just one tempo late, and she was almost there, but could have gotten the win. But really, even if you're not able to convert this with the white pieces, there are a lot of rounds to go for, and she will definitely take those rounds in her stride, and she will push for a win in those rounds. And hopefully she does. She's been playing spectacular chess, and now before the World Cup, this is the tournament, I think last tournament that she will be playing, so that will definitely be really good for her confidence. If she plays really well here, then in the World Cup she can push for some amazing plays that she did in the FIDE Swiss as well. Hopefully she comes out with a great result there as well. And all of these games that she plays with, following all of these sidelines and the preps that she does, it's absolutely a joy to cover these games, because there's a lot of complications, there's a lot of tal moves in the position, so it's always an amazing thing to analyze these crazy games. And hopefully she continues to play these crazy games, because when it comes to being calm in all of these crazy lines and all of these crazy ideas of sacrificing and all of these things, it's really difficult to beat Divya there. So she has proven time and time again that there she's a force to be reckoned with. Hopefully she continues with it. So yeah, thank you all for watching. I'll be coming back with some of these amazing games, so stay tuned to the channel, stay updated, and I'll be seeing you guys very, very soon. Thank you very, very much for watching.